Hello! Today, we're going to be learning about graphs of functions. Now first, to be a function, you have to pass the vertical line test. The vertical line test is a line that goes vertically up and down the coordinate plane and intersects a graph at one point in order to be a function. So these two graphs are functions because they intersect at one point. This graph is also a function because the vertical line only intersects at one point. Some graphs are not functions because the vertical line passes through them twice. For instance, a circle is not a function because the vertical line passes it through 2 points. Also, a hyperbola is not a function because the vertical line passes through at 2 points. These graphs are not a function. So as I said, this is a function, this is a function, this is a function because the vertical line passes through them at one point, so they pass the vertical line test. However, this is not a function because it passes at 2 points. This is not a function, and this is not a function either. Now we're going to look at some basic functions. This is y equals a constant, or y equals c. Then there's the linear function, which is a diagonal line that goes straight through the origin, which is y equals x. Also, there's a quadratic function, which is just a u shape, y equals x squared. There's the cubic function, which is y equals x cubed. There's the absolute value function, which is y equals the absolute value of x. And then there's the exponential function, which is y equals b to the power of x. Some other ones are the square root function, which is y equals the square root of x. The greatest possible integer function, which is just dots going up. Then there's the cubic function, the cube root function, which is y equals the cube root of x. And then finally, there is the reciprocal function, which is y equals 1 over x. So now we move on to the local maxima and minima. In this function, you have to find the maximum and the minimum in this window. So for this function, the maximum seems to be right there, which is at the point of -2, 2. So I'm just going to write this right now. And then for the minimum, it's at the point 1, -2. So I just gotta write this real quick. And there you go. So now we're gonna find where the graph is increasing and decreasing. So between the points, it is increasing between those 2 points. So from negative, so where it's increasing, it's increasing from the point, you can't see the end, so it's increasing from the point negative infinity to the point where it starts decreasing, or the local maxima, which is at negative 2. Then it decreases for a little bit and starts to increase again at that point right there and goes back up. So it goes from the minimum. So it goes from 1 to infinity. Then for decreasing, it's in between the maximum and minimum. So you go from the decreasing point, it starts decreasing at the maximum, which is at negative 2. And since it's not going all the way there, it's just at that point, you put a bracket. So it's from negative 2, which is the maximum, and then to the minimum, which is at negative 1. So that's my video. I hope you learned from it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.